Good evening, it's Friday. It's Easy 8 Online Painting Club, and my name's Danny. It says it right down at the bottom of the screen. I always start stammering at the beginning of a show. I get so nervous and so excited. I apologise, I'm not very good at this. I'm back from a holiday. It was amazing. I had a great time. So I can see there's some people already over there in the live chat. I got Jeff, I got Luke, and I got Chris the Wolf already joining us this evening. And I've got some other viewers watching there quietly as well. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming along. If you're new, Easy 8 isn't a tutorial channel or anything like that at all. I'm not here to show you how to do anything. I'm just here to kind of provide a bit of company for you while you paint through your miniatures. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us here on YouTube, obviously. You can also find us on Discord. After the show, I'll definitely be on for at least half an hour. Come and have a little chat. If you like what you see, maybe give us a like or follow, but certainly do subscribe. That really helps me out. Helps grow the community, helps grow the channel, and helps me provide better stuff for you. You know how it works. Just hit the button, subscribe already. Hit the bell icon just down there somewhere, so that if my broadcast gets cut off like it sometimes does, you'll know instantly when I set up another video, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I try not to get cut off, but it's literally in the hands of the gods. So apologies if it does cut off. Hopefully it doesn't. Didn't last week, did the week before. Soz, not a lot I can do. Anyway, yeah, I had a great time on holiday. So yeah, I went, I did so many things. So on the first day, me and my partner drove down to the south part of the county, and we went down to go and have a look at the aquarium down there, because I've never been to an aquarium before. And that was incredible, man. Get to see like giant turtles and sharks and fish and jellyfish, oh man, stingrays. It was incredible. It was a really, really good day out, and then we went and got some chips and stuff, you know, did all the touristy stuff. And then we went and got a hotel, and we had to get up really early in the morning, and we drove to the other side of the county, and we had a hot air balloon ride at dawn. It was amazing. We got to go over the county and to see the hills and everyone's gardens, and the amount of people that got swimming pools here in the southwest of the UK is just unreal. Kudos. Yeah, and then we came home for an afternoon, and then we went to another part of the country, and we went caving. That was just incredible. And then we went to the Roman baths just over by Bristol in a city called Bath. Strange that. Yeah, man, it was just a brilliant time. We loved it all. I say we loved it all. My girlfriend didn't really enjoy the Roman bath experience so much. I'm really into history, as we know. And she said, it's not that I didn't enjoy it. It's just that it was very, very boring. So don't go to Roman baths if you don't think that you're going to enjoy it and it's going to be boring. But for me, man, it was like a time machine. It was epic. It was architecture. It was history. It was brilliant. Anyway, that's been my holiday in a nutshell. Come and join us in Discord later on to see a picture of me enjoying myself going caving, because that was an experience. That's actually a new sport. I'm going to have to take it up. It was incredible. Very, very warm. And very, very tight spacey. Yeah, I had a great time. Of course, that meant that I didn't have an awful lot of time this week to kind of set up a project for this week. Last week, and for the couple of weeks prior to that, I was making the little Eldar webway gate portal thing. It's come out really well. I'm really impressed with it. Got a lot of sort of feedback about it online, so thanks very much to all of you who liked it and kind of gave criticism. That was brilliant. For a project that was just kind of a throwaway project, really. I'm really happy with that. I'm doing this weird thing on my hand today. I'm really sorry about this. Kind of has a life of its own. Yeah, so with that, I wanted to leave that there. There was some grass and stuff that I want to put on it, but I'm done with that now on the show, at least for a while. Maybe I'll come back to it and show you what I've done to it later on. But I want to do something different this week. Haven't had the time to really set up a project. I've got a couple of things that I want to do, so I thought this week would be just a really good opportunity to come back to that 135th Panther build that I've been working on for what feels like millennia. The reason I haven't done any more to it is because it's nice to have a break from it, because I find it quite an intense project and I'm not really that good, so I don't really know how to proceed. And every time I go into the next stage, I always find myself kind of I always nervous about it, because I don't know exactly what to do, because I've never really done anything that bold before. I'm about to do camouflaging on it. That's a big step for me. Don't know how I feel about it, because everything I've done so far has taken me so long. I could ruin it, and frankly I just need to get on with it. So that's what today is all about, really. So I'm gonna have a little look at that in just a second. I've bought some new bits and pieces, some new toys and things for future projects, which I'll show you in just a moment as well. But as this is a painting club, do let us know in the live chat what you're doing today, because I would love to know. If you're just kind of getting through that backlog of grey unpainted miniatures, then that's what I want to hear. I want to hear people kind of just working through their backlog and getting stuff done. You don't necessarily have to have anything that's related to painting. It could be whatever hobby you like. If you're just kind of here for the ride, then let us know over there in the live chat. That would be wonderful. Normally got Kyle with us tonight. Still not able to get in contact with him. Been trying earnestly all day. I should imagine he's working. So, hey Kyle, hope you're okay, pal. Hopefully see you soon. Brilliant. Chris says, let's go. I don't know if you noticed, but I timed starting the show just as you said that. That was just accidental. I want to say it was me being a good broadcaster. I'm not, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Let's head on over to my workbench. Hey, here I go. I've got my cup of tea. It's looking a bit pale today, but it tastes lovely. Not going to argue, it was made for me just last minute. Here is my Panther. Yeah, I'm loving the whole thing. I've actually got a little repair job to do on it because I was never able to really get the cannon to stick on the turret very well. Let's just give that a twist and turn that off. When I was sticking this to this, there's this whole piece of plastic here. Luke says, I'm procrastinating a night with sewing some leather. Smooth. You sew your little heart out there, bro. But that night is looking really cool, man, so well done for that. Yeah, you can see there's like this shiny bit on the front here. That's plastic glue, polycement, where it didn't really contact. You can see in here, actually there's no, if I kind of shine it in the light, there's like a little speck down there where I pushed it. So that basically the two pieces never actually met, so they were never really welded. So I really need to, maybe I'll just kind of like stick a piece of plastic card or something on this eventually, but for now it does just kind of hold itself together if I just kind of peg it. Where is it? Come on, there you go. A bit of slides underneath there. So I don't know, that must have just been me not doing it properly. I push with all my strength and there's nothing. It doesn't want to go. No, so I'm gonna have to like fill it with something and then probably glue it again later on. But for now, that can just kind of come off. What needs to happen right now is I need to get the side skirts on. Now, the side skirts are a point of contention for me because I think that the tank really deserves them. I think it looks really cool. And you've got these little pegs here, and they just clip on, boop, here like that. But they cover all of this top part of the track. They don't cover a lot of the wheels like a lot of the tanks you can see, you know, World War II. It's quite easy to cover the good majority of all the work that goes on in here. For me, it covers up the join, which is here. In the tracks, and any areas at the top where I've been gluing the tracks to make it look like they are sagging. Didn't do the greatest job on it, and if I can hide it, all the better. But you know, there's a lot of work in it that does get hidden. So a little while ago I was thinking, well, shall I even put the side skirts on? So I left them off for a while, and you can see that actually the yellow from the hull is slightly darker than the yellow on the side skirts. It's because I did them at 2 different times. Not overly fussed about it, whatever. Hopefully the weathering process will hide a lot of that. It's got a little bit of dust in here because it's been sat on the desk for a little while. Just gonna blow that down. So basically I've just got to get these on there. I was wondering, should I, shouldn't I? And then I decided I was going to. Then I was going to do all sorts of really crazy ideas of chopping up all the different sections and making it look like that bits were blown off or whatever. And I didn't do that. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to put them on. But trying to get these things to line up is quite tricky. So I'm not entirely sure how well that's going to go, because this rail that runs all the way along the top here is an individual piece, and then these little clips, they're individual pieces as well. So I'm not entirely sure if maybe I got them lined up right. So it might be a case of just taking my time and just, you know, try and line them up as best I can. And if they don't, well, you know, they don't. That'll be sad. I hope that I've got them on the right way, because that would be even worse. I'm fairly certain I do have them all lined up. It certainly looks like it. So yeah, that is the right side. It does tell me in the instructions, I just couldn't be bothered to bend over and pick them up. So yeah, I've got to now get these glued onto here. Now the idea of this red piece at the end is supposed to be like a bit of undercoat or primer for the tank, because there is this wheel and this wheel, and on the inside there's another red wheel, which you can see in there are all red primer to make it look like that they were taken off and repaired or replaced, sorry. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm just going to give all a quick wipe down with a big fluffy brush, just to make sure that as much of the dust and it's every episode, isn't it, cat hair is just out of here. So just giving it we'll just kind of give it a quick once through with the airbrush, because guess what I didn't do at the end of the last show, and then I went on holiday. I didn't clean the airbrush out again. I'm terrible for it. To all you airbrush pros, I'm so sorry. I'm rubbish. Oh my god, like the 20 minutes leading up to the beginning of the show tonight, I got it cleaned, but oh, we're probably going to have problems with it again tonight. I say me, I'm going to have problems with it again tonight, whatever. So, the idea is that those little peggy bits should poke through those little holes. But this is another reason why I've been contemplating not putting the side skirts on, is because I clearly haven't done a very good job of lining all those bits up. So I'm just wondering if it's actually, shall I just not put them on at all? See, and this is where I go backwards and forwards. Do I put them on? Don't I put them on? Do I put them on? Don't I? So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Should I put them on? I just think it's gonna, if I don't get it right, it's gonna look a little bit rubbish. Now I know that they weren't actually put on very accurately anyway. They were just welded on or clamped on in whatever way they could. I get it. But when you're making a model, you want it to be a bit tidier, right? So it should hang down a little bit, I think. Now, I do have a little bit of reference here, because I was smart and I brought down the box art. You can see it in the top corner of your screen here. It's a bit too big to bring into the screen. On the box art, it doesn't actually have it on the top, it has it on the side. And it's a clear straight line across the tops of those, so it's not hanging down like I've got it here on this one here. Jeff says, cut them and just put a couple on. I could do, but then what I do is, because I expose the inner pieces of plastic on the inside of where they're going to be, that's more painting work, isn't it? So I'm kind of just trying to get on with it now, really. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, a bit rubbish in there. Let's get rid of that. Do you see how I'm procrastinating already? This is what I'm trying to get away from. Oh, do you know? Oh, hello. It's just sat up in place now. Okay. Right. Something happened there. That's how it goes on. That is how it goes on. Wonderful. So basically, this rail sits on the top of this lip edge here. That works really well. That's clearly how it's designed. I'm having a bit of a paddy. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with that. That looks alright, doesn't it? Let me just bring that into shot a little bit better. That's actually quite smart. Right, I know what I'm doing. Now, I did bring some Humbrol poly cement for this one, but I think I might actually benefit from using a little bit of super glue on this one, because the areas are going to be quite small, and I'd have to like just kind of remove the bit of paint where the poly cement's going to touch, and I think that super glue is probably going to be my better bet. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Got some cryonoacrylate from Green Stuff. It's really good actually, and I could actually spray on some activator to get this to speed up, but I don't think I'm going to bother with that today. It's pretty efficient glue. I was using some earlier on to repair my sunglasses. I actually used the activator for that. That goes instantly. So yeah, not gonna use that today. So I've got one of the sticks, one of the skewers that I used for putting, holding on the wheels. I'm just going to use that just to dab along the top edge with the super glue where I want it to go. And that super glue, which is I just got it in the palette here, just there, and it stays liquid for quite some time until it touches something else. So it's a really good glue to use. I'm just going to try and keep it as light as I possibly can, and I'm just going to put a little dollop, and then I'm just going to kind of run it along the edge there. The fact that it isn't going to dry instantly is going to benefit me, and trying to keep it in position, get it into position. So yeah, if I had that activator on it and I didn't get it lined up, that would be it. I'd end up pulling chunks of it off, and I don't want to do that. I'm not doing a very good job of this. I could actually just kind of cut that skewer down to a point, like a little taper, and that will make it a bit easier to actually get that glue a bit more precise. It's starting to set, so I'm trying to be as quick as I can, so apologies if I'm not in shot. Just trying to get there a little bit faster. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. I don't know if I did a very good job of that, but it's on. It's on. This end over here wants to kind of pull up a little bit under my little finger. It's okay, I can put a bit more precision on it later on. It didn't actually push in all the way, so that's a little bit upsetting. Okay, do you know what? I'm not going to worry about it just yet. I'm going to pop it over onto this side. I might have to come back and clean that up in a minute. Who knows? That was just a bit of a tetchier side, I think. Okay, cool. Do you know what I'm going to do this time? I'm actually going to shave that piece of stick down. I brought my knife. Where is it? Here it is. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Stuck that to my finger. Brilliant. And a sip of tea. Cool. There we are. A bit of a taper on there now. Probably be a bit more precise. That is a bit of a shame. It's okay, I can make that work. I'll just end up taking it off again. Might have to give it a bit of a clean up, but shouldn't be too bad. Right, let's get a bit more glue on there, because I think that might... Is that setting in there? No, that's actually fine. Okay. Excuse me while it goes quiet while I concentrate. Actually really struggling to get the glue into where I want it to go, so I'm actually going to put some little drops on there. That may or may not be the best move in the world, but I kind of just want to get it done so that I can get onto painting today. Okay, I'm going to do it off screen so you can't really see. And I'm going to use the stick to move these blobs along. Picking it up on the skewer wasn't working. That's quite a large blob I've got there. Oops. Right. That's better. There's the large bit right down at the end here. Oh, it's strong. Stings the nostrils. It's an Anchorman quote there. If anyone's a fan of Anchorman, you should be. If you haven't seen the film yet, you should be ashamed of yourself. Actually met some people a little while ago who haven't seen it yet. Disgusted, frankly. Okay, here we go. Got a bit of super glue there stuck to my finger. Oh no, I've dropped it. Clean as much of that glue as possible, just run that stick along the top, just kind of scoop it all out. Oh, maybe it is supposed to stick off a little bit. Okay, so the other side isn't that bad. Alright, do you know what? I'm happy with that, it's done. Adrian says, evening all. Hi Adrian, thanks for coming along today. Sorry we started without you, mate. Luke says, love the Easy 8 Glue podcast. Yes. Cheers, pal. You know, it's a part of the model making experience, right? I can put the glue away now. We're done. We're done with the glue. Don't want to upset Luke. So sorry, Luke. Cool. My side skirts are on. Can I get a round of applause? And the crowd goes wild. Brilliant. More tea. It's the tea podcast, Luke. Just for you. Right. So, while that's setting, and it shouldn't take very long to set, I'm going to have a quick look at my camouflage colours. Here they are. We've seen these before in previous episodes. I spoke about them loads. Love the AK paints. Love the modulation sets. It's got two colours with different variations on them. I'm just going to start with the base of each. So I've got the red and the green. The reason that I'm going to just start with those at the moment is just so I can map out where the colours are going to go. I quite like the scheme that's on the box art here. One of the things I've been putting off is what I actually do in terms of camouflage pattern. I didn't want to go too much with it because I love everything that the color, or like this color here just does for the tank. I think it's wonderful. So I want it to be quite yellow. I don't want to go too much with this, but every instance I find of camouflage patterns seems to go very heavy in the other two colours. So I'm going to try and pull that back a little bit, I think. I'm not going to do any on the red section here on the side skirt because I want that just to be plain. I'm not going to do anything on the wheels, I don't think, because I just didn't want to, because it was more hassle. I have seen a lot, and in some of the reference books I've got right beside me, a lot of like the hulls being painted with camouflage but the wheels not been, and then lots of the other way as well, where the wheels are painted. So I just thought, just going to keep it simple for myself, and I'm just going to do the hull and the turret along the side skirts. A little bit of dust come off the box there. So yeah, I'm just going to start with these, the two base colours, just to map it out to start with, and then I'm going to use the modulation colours afterwards. So where the camouflage runs into like an area at the back of the tank, maybe over here, where it's a little bit darker, I'll use a little bit of the dark colour to kind of shadow it off. And then perhaps when it comes into a bit of the lighter bit you can see on the box art here, then I might lighten it up a little bit. When I was doing my little tanks, I wasn't too pleased with the appearance that the shadow or the highlight did for the camouflage colour, but that might just be because of the size of those models. So we'll see what happens, right? For now, I think it's just important to just kind of take the time and map those colours out. I've been watching some people do it on YouTube and they just take their time. It's not a fast affair, so that's what I'm going to do today. I've been having a look at the box art over here, like I said. If I show it up to the camera here, hopefully you can see. Hopefully that's a good enough thing there. There we go. So you can see the sort of pattern, if you like. Perhaps I can bring it in. Oh, it's not so bad if I bring it in front of the camera. And there's lots of little dots all over it, the various colours on there. I might do that at the end, who knows. But I've got a long ways to go yet anyway. So I'm just gonna kind of start, I think, and just go for it. I've got my airbrush, which it was so jammed with just, it took a lot of effort to clean this up. Luke says, applause sounds. Thanks very much. Brilliant. So yeah, it's time to just get going with this, I think. I think it's going to be important to get the turret on there. Let me just put the turret on. I don't know where to start. Any advice, by the way, as I'm going with this, anything at all, hit me with your opinions, your ideas, because I'm floundering at this point. Like I'm so nervous about messing everything up that I've done so far. So if you've got ideas or suggestions, or you just know, then please do say, speak up, please. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the side. Maybe I'll start on the other side because there's no red on that one. I'm going to start on this side over here, and the idea is I'll start maybe at the front and then I'll kind of work up the side, including the turret at the same time, because the pattern will be on the turret from the side of the hull, if that makes sense. Yeah, anyway, what colour shall I start with first? I think I'll start with the red colour, and there it is, red brown base, or as they say in Germany, Rotbraun base. Sorry, Chris. Help me out here, mate. So, Chris, you may have noticed on on Discord that you got a little wave from me, and then you said hello back. That's because just earlier on today, when I was on Discord, it said wave to your friend Chris. So I did. That's why you got a wave. Jeff says start in the middle. On the side, yeah? Okay, cool. Then I will start in the middle. Don't really know what design I'm going to do, but I think maybe I'll just kind of like start with a little line and I'll make it a bit fatter as I go. I think the idea is to just keep it simple as you go. Keep it slim, keep it small, because you can always build up from there. If I bring in this white piece of paper, is that too much for the background? No, that's fine, isn't it? Okay, cool. So nervous, I don't know if you can tell. Right, just going to give this paint a good shake up. Chris says Rotbraun is right. So when I said Rotbraun, it's so hard to read it when you're just typing it. Jeanette says evening. Hi Jeanette, thanks for coming along, mate. Nice to see you again. I am a little nervous about getting it on the wheels here, so for that I've just got like a couple of other pieces of paper. And just when I'm starting down by the wheels, I can, I suppose, just slide this piece of paper in. Maybe I'll use this one down here. Here we go. That's maybe a bit better. So then this is a fresh piece of paper which I can slide in. It hasn't got any creases underneath it. That is not as easy as I thought it would be. Well, there it is. That's where it's going to stay. Okay. Block off the wheels. Done it, mate. Done it. Chris says we can try it again later on Discord. Thanks, man. Come and join us on Discord later. You should. If you haven't subscribed to the Discord server, do it. Do it now. There is a link in this description of this video. Yeah, follow that. Do it. It's great fun. Lots to see and do. There's not a lot to do, it's just to see. Let's not make things up now. What you can't see off screen is, of course, my little recipe of thinning my paints down in my airbrush. So just putting about 12-ish drops of my paint colour. It's probably about 15 in there at the moment. 1 drop of thinner and 2 drops of flow improver. There we go. And I'm just going to give that a bit of a mix up. Wherever my mixing brush is, there it is, I got it. It seems to be a mixture that it's just working for me, so I'm not going to ruin it, not going to jinx it. Now if you have a look on the model now, on the side skirts and underneath the big tube on the side here, which is basically what was used to clean the cannon out, you can see that there is shading a shadow there. Where I go over those areas with this red colour, those are the areas that I will kind of shade in with a bit of this red, the darker red. And then there are other areas where there are highlights. So on top of the tube, there's a little bit of highlight there, for example. But for now, it's just about mapping those colours out. And I really hope that I do this justice. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of start with a line here in the middle. And I'm just going to work my way up. Just nice and easy. So let's give this a little bit of a test. Got a bit of spatter going out there. That's just because I think I went in a bit too light there. Let's just give this. There we go. I'm going to turn my pressure down a little bit. And a bit more. What you can't see is I'm just doing it off camera there, but I'm just practicing getting some really thin lines. Just practicing some trigger work. Okay, cool, here we go. Cross your fingers and hold your breath. Don't hold your breath because you'll die. The length of time it will take me to do this. So, I'm just going to tilt it a little bit towards me. It's a bit easier for me there. Right, see you later, tank. Just trying to get some wavy lines in there. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. I think I can just get rid of that piece of paper now. Just to make it a bit easier, just to hold now that I'm away from the wheel there. I'll bring it back in if I have to come back down again. So now I'm just going to go over the top. Make sure you guys can see. Not a bad start, I'm very shaky. I'm going to come up over the top of this tube now and up the side of where the turret is. I'm actually going to pull the cannon off the front there because it's just been a little bit awkward to hold. That makes it a little bit easier for me to hold the turret in place now without actually having to knock that off. Okay, so just going to come up over the top over here. Being a little bit timid with the airbrush, I think a bit too timid in some places. Just give the needle a bit of a clean off, there we go. And out the side of the turret here. Oh, this is taking a lot of my my effort, a lot of concentration here. I'm gonna come up a bit narrow with this colour, I think. The closer I get, the more defined those lines become, so I can get some really crisp edges. And then if I pull further away, I'll get more of a flood area, but they become less intense, less saturated. If you remember the episode on the colours and colour wheels and things. There you go, putting it into practice. Bit of a blockage there, just a slight one. Drying on the edge of the needle. Perhaps I'll put a bit more thinner in next time. Nice edge there. Oh, came out a bit too fast there. Losing it, I'm losing it. Need to clean the needle off again. There we go. Okay, this isn't a bad first go, you know. Just make sure that anyone's not said anything. Okay, no, we've got quiet viewers. Quiet viewers are fine. As long as I'm not boring you to death, that is. In which case, I'm sorry. Do let me know. Not a bad first pass there. Very nervous. I've still got loads of this colour in here, so I might like move on and do somewhere else now, and then come back and maybe fill this colour in a little bit. With a bit of dry paint on the needle there, let's keep trying to remove that. There we go. Any pros that are watching this either now live or on the playback, I'd love your feedback. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, tell me what I'm doing right, because you know, I only seek to improve, and if you think what is he doing, or you dude, you're doing that wrong, then I would really honestly like to know. You won't offend me if you're like, dude, what, you know, you're having a laugh. You're doing it wrong, bro. That's fine with me, man. Okay, cool. I might do another line over here perhaps, and then kind of maybe I'll mix it in at the top. I don't really know. See what happens. So I might need to get a piece of paper back in again. I could probably have got some masking tape, can I really? That would have been probably good, and then I could have just masked that bit off. But, you know, hindsight and all that. Okay. What I will do is, just while I got the edge there, is I will just kind of add a little bit of saturation just at the bottom here. Because I can. Okay, cool. And now I'll do another line just over here, perhaps. Yeah, why not? Oh, got a little bit of splatter there. Bit of a shame, because that was quite a nice defined edge there a minute ago, but now what can you do when you're learning? Not spraying on so well. I wonder why that is. It's kind of just flaring out everywhere. Jeff says, there, now you have broken the ice, it's going to be easier to move on. Maybe just lightly map out where the colours will be and then darken them as you go. Yeah, I can't leave things when I've started them, you know. So like, trying to like map it all out now just feels a little bit alien. I suppose wanting to do this bit now is kind of like to colour this whole one piece in is the fear of not moving on, not wanting to move on. Does that make sense? Oh, again gone on quite heavy there. Pull that away, just come down here and have a little look at the side. Okay. I'm actually finding it quite difficult to see where I sprayed. Oh, I see on the camera it's actually quite heavy there. Okay, cool. I'm going to bring it up the front of the turret here because that's new. Right, I haven't done that bit yet. Feels awful going over some of like the pin lining I've done here. Jeff says, nice, like it, thanks very much, because it's still very nerve-wracking at the moment. I did all this pin lining back in the early days of this model. Feels a little bit awful going over it again now. At the side of the turret mantlet here, perhaps. Come on, Cullen, where have you gone? There it is. I'm going to bring it out a little bit, just be a little bit bold with the colour there. There we go. Going to come off and do a weird thing here. Not entirely sure why or what that is. It's like a... yeah, just make it look a bit more random, a bit more fluid. Yeah, quite like that actually. Nice. Bit more saturation in there. And now bring it over the top. Over the top of that turret piece. The turret has slightly rotated, but whatever. Leather bit coming off over there, look. That's kind of cool, right? Whew. This is very emotional for me. Oh, a bit too heavy there, but do you know what? That's filled that in. At least that was controlled. Right. Support the headphones there, they're coming off my head. Crikey. Right, well, I'll just fill this little bit in over here a little bit more. Give that a bit more saturation, a bit more definition on the edges. Come down the side over here. Block that in a bit more. Give that some definition. Oops, a bit too heavy there. Okay, not too shabby, not too shabby. That's okay, really. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a quick turn around. And I'll work down the other way. And bring that line right down, perhaps. That was a sip of my tea, because this is thirsty work. Yum. Okay. So. Hopefully you can see still. Needle needs a clean. Gosh, drying on the needle pretty quickly today. Perhaps a quality of this particular paint. Every paint behaves differently. Yeah, being really difficult. There we go. There was a little lump just came out of dried paint. It's just drying in the needle in there. Lovely. Oh, do you know, this is the quietest I've ever been. Okay, I'm going to carry this little pattern on over here, and then I'll have a little breakaway and just maybe come just a little bit over here, not all the way down, and then I'll follow this piece maybe down the front over there. Hopefully that'll look kind of cool, right? You know, I don't know if there are like particular patterns. I did a little bit of research on camo, but really just wanted to get on with it. So as nerve-wracking as this is, I'm having quite a bit of fun right now, and that's the most important thing, right? Now, I don't want to bring it all the way down to the bottom. That just seems a little cliche. If cliche is something you can have in camo, so... I'm just going to kind of make a point like that. Jeff says, I keep holding my breath just watching. Sorry, man. Look at that. I don't know if you can see a blockage on the end of this needle. You see that? It's quite lumpy. Now the recipe mixture that I've been using in my colours has been to try and avoid that, but this particular paint, and it could just be this colour, just wants to avoid that. Anyway, I'm just going to carry on doing this little pattern down here, and then maybe a bit over here, and then this bit over the front, and hopefully that I will get through this hopper of red. We are at the point where we would sort of have a break, so we'll go for one of those in just a minute. Yeah. And then hopefully in a minute I'll be able to get straight on and do some green. That'll be really fun. It really wants to dry in the airbrush so fast. Being a pain, come on. See all the air bubbles in there? Means there's a slight blockage in there. Oh, I spat. I do apologise, that's very grotesque. Yep, I've got probably a blockage in there now. Oh my god, that's terrible. Behave yourself. This part of the show could just be me crying. Okay. It does not want to budge. Okay, so here's a good way of doing this, is just unscrew the back, loosen the needle off, and then I found if you just kind of pull the needle back, sometimes it dislodges something in the end there. And that could be enough. It looks like it might have been. There's quite a solid lump coming out the end there. Let me just go to what I call like a little needle for cleaning needles. Yeah, it's quite a solid mess on the end there. That may not necessarily be drying inside the needle tip itself, although it's very likely. That could be drying somewhere else and kind of getting like pushed down inside. But it seems to, I've got it unblocked at least temporarily. The trick is that not the trick. The thing you want to avoid, even if I've kind of got it temporarily unblocked, is I don't want it to then block immediately whilst mid-flow, and then I get spatter all over the place. That would be very upsetting. You can see that these blotches I've put down is where I spray, but if you would look closer, you see there's a lot of spatter going on there, and that's what I want to really avoid. And it has done that in some places on here, but it's not that bad. It's quite unnoticeable, which is fortunate. Yeah, spattering there. basically just puts too much paint down in one area. And they can't escape quick enough. It's got quite a lot of spray here and here on the sides of that shape, but you know, it's working. See that edge there? You can't see it. It's not nearly as defined as I'd like it to be. There's a little lump in there, I think. I might just picked up a little bit of debris from previous clean. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to mask out a basic line, kind of where I want this to go, and then I'll make some defined edges on it later. Something like that. It's gone quite heavy there, but you know, in the interest of just cracking on, let's just crack on. Right, and then I'm just going to bring one just over here a little bit, see what that does. I will put the cannon back on. Come on now. There it is. So I can go over the front of the mantlet. Now the cannon has shifted a little bit. Whatever. I get the impression that this wasn't a precise painting job when they did this. Just down the front here. Now, where I've come down the front of the mantlet and then onto the top of the hull, if I was to turn the turret around, the colour would stop sharply. What I will do later on, just because I think that's what I want to do, is I'll remove the turret and same on the other side around there, where the pattern kind of finishes. I'll lift the turret up and I'll just kind of carry on. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Let me know if I shouldn't. Still a little bit of blockage appearing in here. Now I did give this a really good clean, so I don't think it's because I didn't clean it well enough earlier. I think it's probably just the paint that's just kind of drying inside, and I just need to learn how to work with this paint, learn to make a better mixture. Now, I'm just going to bring this piece of paper up to the edge of that the side skirt there, because I don't want this to go onto the red at all. So I'm just going to bring it up to here. All came up very, very quickly there. Alright, there we go. Not so bad. I am just going to flush the last little bit of paint out and then just give it a quick rinse through because I think it needs to do that, and there's no need for you to be around while I do this. So yeah, let's maybe go to an intermission and we'll have a quick break. I'll have some more tea. This is turning out to be quite good fun. It's not so bad now I've got that main colour down there. I would like to switch out to the green and kind of bring that colour into it. There's a lot of work to do on this yet, but I've got that started, so yeah, cool. Anyway, we'll have 10 minutes, so if you need to go stretch your legs, refocus your eyes, change your paint water, you should definitely change your paint water. And I'll see you back here in about 10 minutes. See you soon. Cheers. Welcome back. It's been a very uneventful intermission for me. Just been cleaning out the airbrush successfully. All good over here. Actually quite an interesting cleaning process where I said I thought that the paint was drying much quicker than I'm used to. Actually, in the hopper of the airbrush, I'll show you in a minute, you can see where it's crinkled and peeled as it's been drying as it's been kind of running down the side. So this paint dries really quickly. That could be the conditions in here. It's actually quite nice in here today. I think it's just the property of this paint. Just really interesting. So yeah, I think I remember this actually the last time I used it, which was quite some time ago. Anyway, yes, I'm back from the intermission. Hope you enjoyed the music. Hope you only got all your paint water changed out, etc. So yeah, if you're new here, don't forget that this isn't a tutorial. I say don't forget, you would know because you're new. But yeah, basically, it's not a tutorial. It's just a bit of company while you paint everything else. Get on, do your collection and whatever you need to do. So if you fancy coming along and watching more of us, if you like what we do, then you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram, here on YouTube, of course, and you can also get us on Discord as well. If you don't mind, drop us a subscribe because every little bit really helps me grow the community. Yeah, share the word. Bring a friend. Just cleaning out. I was going to show you inside the hopper, but I got too into cleaning, so now I can't show you. But it was dry paint. Whoop-de-doo. Let me know how you're getting on painting your projects this evening. I'm going to turn that music down a little bit because there's a little bit on the loud side in my headphones and it wasn't that loud earlier. That's much better. There we go. Cool. Just having to tidy up here because I'm a bit of a messy pup when I'm cleaning, or when I'm painting, actually, in general. So, airbrush is all put back together again. I am just going to stick a bit of water through him just to make sure that he flushes through fine quickly, and then I'm going to move on to the green colours. There we go. And I might see if I can add in more thinner, maybe a bit of flow improver extra. Make sure I give it a really good mix because it wasn't mixed very well. I noticed when it was coming out at the end it started to get quite runny. So yeah, it needs a good mix around in the hopper in there, and hopefully a little bit of extra stuff should stop it from drying so rapidly. Just waiting for the water to come out of the hopper. There it is, and that should be a clean airbrush now. Don't mind it so much. It's not like I'm doing like super defined edges or anything at this stage. I would like to get to that point, but at the moment it doesn't really matter. Very happy with what I've got so far. Just trying to make sure that I've not got any paint on the tank where I don't want it, because I've noticed there's a little bit just kind of lying around here on the paper, and I don't want any creepy bits of red. That's probably you'll see on the workbench. Let's move over to the workbench. Get away from this place. So this line here was just kind of was in line with the tank. I was like, oh, I hope that didn't run off and get onto the tracks. Actually, that's where I had the needle from the airbrush. So that's good. Cool. We're all clean here. There's nothing coming out at all, paint wise. So that was a good clean. Now, what did I do with them paints? Here they are. I'm going to move away from red. If I can open the box, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Here we go. Let's move away from that colour, and we're going to go on to the greens. Olive green. Base. It's all about that base. Now, Chris, you said I said green correct last time, so I'm not going to ask for your help on that one. Olive green. Tea is going down very well today. Okay. So I think I'm going to do on the tank here, I think I'm going to do like a larger green bit over here, and I might do like a thin piece, maybe just kind of coming up from the bottom here, or maybe from the top, kind of run down the sides, maybe linking these two red bits together. Again, I don't want to go too heavy. I might have a bit on the front, and then, yeah, some more on the back over there perhaps. So we'll see what happens. Right now I'm just quite concerned about making sure I give a really good shake on the paint. I am going to be looking at getting a paint shaker. I spoke about that a few episodes ago. I bought some other toys since. I'll talk about those a little bit later on. So yeah, I haven't got around to buying it yet. It's not an essential buy for me just at the moment. Let's move this away because I don't want to get paint on there if I'm mixing. Okay. About that much paint, roughly. And then I want some flow improver. Yeah. Chris says, good job. Hey, thanks mate. I put normally 2 drops of this in. I'm going to put 3. And then I'm going to put in 1 drop of thinner. I don't want it to go too thin. I just want it to transfer through the airbrush better. And then obviously out onto the model. And now, a good mix. So, some music while you wait. It's a nice green. I love working with greens. Yellow is my favourite colour, if you're interested. But when it comes to paint, green's beautiful to work with. I don't know if any of you guys out there find the same. If you have colours that you prefer working with, yellow is a real pig to paint with. Green's beautiful. Green, some blues. Grey is a fantastic colour. I'm just going to turn it slightly to the side, make sure that I'm kind of reaching to the bottom of the hopper, pouring everything out. There we go. And now I'm just going to wash that brush off. I'm going to wash and dry it off because earlier on I needed that brush and I had my hands full. Okay, brush to the side. Here we go. So back to the original side that I started on. I am just going to dab that little bit of paint there because I'm going to be putting the tank on that, I reckon, in a minute. Wonderful. A colour test. Nice and fluid. Very pale colour. Easy to build that up. Again, just going to take the cannon off the front of the turret. And away we go. Right. Here we go. So, I think I'm going to do a little piece over here, maybe? Like I did earlier. I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom, because I just don't want to. So, drying already inside the needle head there, but it has been sat in there for a minute, so let's just try and get it flowing, shall we? I can hear it wanting to ruin me. So this is actually going on, is that not going on harder? It's harder to see it against the yellow colour there. A bit of spatter there, but nothing too much to worry about. Try and bring it in shot a bit more. Chris says, green and blue, that are the bros. Oh, so you like green and blue. I've yet to meet anyone who really enjoys working with yellow. The results you can get from yellow are fantastic, but to actually work with it, it's a bit of a pig dog. Got a nice flow of that paint going on now. It's much lighter than I expected it to be as a colour, but I can play around with, you know, the saturations and stuff later on when I get the highlights and the shadows out. Actually having quite a bit of fun with this now. kind of loosened up a little bit. I'm still really taking my time with it. I don't want to kind of get cocky. I have an awful habit of doing that. Oh, bit of spatter there. Should have cleaned that off. See? Don't get cocky. Nice defined edge. Don't know what anybody else thinks of this colour. It's quite an interesting. I'd say it's much paler than I expected it to be. Maybe it just needs a bit of layering up, that kind of intensity to show. I want it to come over here a bit more, down the back side of here, so I can show off with a little bit of shading later on perhaps. Oh, it's taken a bit more to layer this one up, but yeah, whatever. I'm happy that it's just going well, really. And I might do another little breakaway line over here and kind of across the back of the, you know, Jeff says, love greens and greys. Oh yeah, you're the same. That's probably because father son, we probably work with the same sort of colours and stuff as I grew up. You kind of taught me stuff. Yeah. Oh, nearly rushing it a bit too much there. Trying to keep it random. Oh, anyway, would love to know how you guys are getting on this evening. So if you've got a project on tonight, which most of you have, I think, I'd love to know what it is that you're doing, if you haven't already said, and you know, how you're getting on with that. Have you crossed any boundaries today? Have you kind of finished anything? Have you got anything done? Crossed boundaries? I don't know if that's really what I meant. I meant, like, you know, finish things. Have you achieved targets is what I meant. I'm so sorry. Oops, give it a bit of a knock there. It's going well, it's going well. Just give that needle a bit of a clean. Now, I wanted to just kind of move on, do a couple more lines before I made this too saturated. Well, you know, any more saturated. But I feel like I kind of got to, because it's actually quite hard to distinguish in some places where the colour actually is. So I'm just kind of really blocking it in right now, so that it's a bit easy to identify. And it might just be that because I'm sat under the lights, it's kind of bleached out a little bit. That's fine. I just want to be able to make sure that when I come back to it, well, it looks quite appealing. There's nothing worse than kind of coming back to a project and going like, oh, that doesn't look as good as I remember it being, or that looks rubbish now I've kind of stepped away from it. So yeah, I'm just trying to be considerate for future Danny. I'm just trying to remove any straight edges. Kind of make them look a bit more wibbly wobbly, really. You heard me, wibbly wobbly. Now I know I wanted to do some other projects and whatever, but it's really nice to come back to this. I can have like too much of it from time to time. And I've got to step away from it and do other projects. And I come back and I do, oh, that camouflage or that, well, whatever. I do those tracks or I do those wheels. Bit by bit it's coming together. I wish I was as good as the pros where they could just do it like in a couple of days. Like LPJ Models, who I know watches the show and has his own YouTube channel, and it's fantastic the stuff that he brings up. So if you're watching this, LPJ Models, you're cool. But I'm just not that good. That's okay, but you know, it just takes me a while. Okay, maybe enough just over here for a minute. Now I want to come back over here because I think I'm starting to run a bit lower on this because it is flowing a bit better than the other paint that I had mixed up earlier on. It could be the mixture, it could be the paint, who knows. So now I'm just going to come back over and I'm just going to fill in this little bit here. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's a nice pattern going on there. Just going to do it nice and gentle. Take my time, and hopefully the edges of the two colours meeting will make each other a bit more defined. Now I don't want to be filling in the gaps, that would be kind of rubbish, I think. So I'm just going to make it look like that it's just here, this little bit. So just starting from the top and then just kind of working my way down to maybe like a little, you know, a little filler. Bit of spatter there, so let's clean that off. Hopefully I haven't just put my hands in it. Okay, cool. Wasn't looking where I picked it up from. Shall I come back in the shot? Oh, something in my eye. Trying to read what people have been writing. Jeff says, love greens and greys. Yep, read that a minute ago. 4 projects, all boxed and ready to post. 4 more projects to finish. Wow, you're cracking through them. I think if it was your pay job, you would just be a little bit faster because you would get hungry. Yeah, I think you're right there. I would love this to be my pay job. I'd love to be good enough to be able to do that. I am not. If I am, if you consider me to be that way, please let me know, because that would be lovely to know. Maybe that's a possible career move for me. Be nice to know that people think I'm good enough to pay money for. So I'm just gonna come down the bottom of the turret there and then across the hull. Define those edges a little bit. By coming across the top of the tube here, I can actually hide some bad shading that I did when I first started painting. That's really good. Yeah, that's a nice colour in there. Nice amount of colour is what I mean. Going to try and colour in the whole front of this tube, and then I'm just going to bring that colour just down to the side over here. Try and bring myself in shot a little bit more. There we go. Go. It's quite nice. I like it. Oh dear. The green is much harder to see, especially under these studio lights. So I think I have to do quite a bit of work with like the modulation set in terms of darkening it all off and making it more defined as a colour on there. But at the moment, it's not all that bad. I quite like it. Now remember, I said I didn't want to go too heavy with all these colours, so I'm not actually going to do an awful lot more. I might do a little bit more green, maybe a little streak of red at the front over here. I'll do some stripes and stuff on the cannon. I'll do a bit more red just to kind of fill in these little bits, maybe do a little bit of work here and here like I did with the green, but actually do it with the red. Yeah, and then that'll probably be it for this amount of colour, because I don't want to go crazy with it all. I don't feel that I need to. So here, do I want to do anything there? Yeah, neaten that edge up, because that's where I was starting to run out of that red, and it was getting a little bit gnarly over there. So I don't think I'm going to do much. Maybe if I come up here and then kind of just go around this little bit here. So if I just do a little bit of spray. Coming out a bit runny there. lost my concentration voice. Oh. Jeff says, I don't know how some of these figure painters do it. To sit there for 8 hours a day would kill me working up that close. Yep. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I haven't really ever pursued it. Because I'd love to be able to, but to actually just spend... I'm an outdoors person, we all know that. But yeah, just have to be good enough and comfortable enough to know how to regiment your day, I suppose, don't you? You have to be quite strict with yourself, I think. You have to be quite honest with yourself. You have to say things like, well, I can only do so much a day, I can only do, you know, this amount of, you know, hours worth of whatever. I'm gonna have to, you know, say that's what I can do. I can only paint, you know, 30 figures a day up to a certain level, and then I have to do detailed stuff down to, you know, another level. Because when you start doing all the really fine details or whatever, it just takes so much longer, obviously, you know. But I do watch some people and they're just incredible. So kudos to you guys. If you're one of those people and you're watching right now, thanks for coming along and watching my humble little show. Struggling to get a little line of definition up here, and I think it's just because the paint might be drying a little bit as I'm starting to go down the level of it. Down the level of it is that I'm starting to reduce the level I've got in the airbrush. Oh, it came out a bit fast there. It's very hard to keep a monologue going while you're trying to concentrate, so I'm sorry if actually what I'm saying is just rubbish. I do watch my show back. Sometimes I do think, oh, that's a bit... Why'd you say that? So, apologies. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get that piece of paper in there, just mask off those pesky wheels, if I can get the paper under the side, because this is the opposite side to what I was doing it on a minute ago. It wants to fight me. Come on now. Actually, it's just much easier to get down this side, much further up. Cool. Bit of spatter coming out there, that's not handy. You can do one. Excellent. Okay, that gives me a little bit of definition now to work with later. I can come back and fill that middle piece in with the red and make that more defined there. Okay, I might do like a little breakaway line and just kind of come down here now. Oh, this is tough. Say it's very emotional. Again, coming out a bit too fast there, getting some little blockages, not helping at all. This is kind of frustrating, this colour, because like I say, it's such a pale green. You expect it to be quite a bit darker because the red's dark, but it's not. It's the easiest way to say that. It's not that dark. And it just takes a little while to kind of layer it up. But until then, it's really hard to see where the edges are. There we are, getting some definition there. Finally. Really taking my time with that saturation of the colour, and also just trying to be very careful. Again, don't want to go right up to the edge of the side skirt. I don't actually want to go onto the side skirt, because there's that area where the colour changes. There we go. Just make it look kind of random. Make the edges not so straight, or like they've been drawn with French curves. More like they've just been kind of randomly sprayed on or brushed on by the crew. Some were very ornate, some were very haphazard. Cool. There we go, we're starting to get somewhere, and again, I'll take some photographs, or I can show you guys over on Discord at the end of the show. Oh, bit of spray there, bit of spatter, that's not ideal. Just going over some of what I've already done, just to see if it kind of darkens up a little bit. It seems to. Which sounds like an obvious thing, but if you think about how much I've already darkened it all up, you'd think that the colour is as saturated as it can possibly go, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It's not too shabby. It's one of my go-to phrases. Not too shabby. Seems to work. It's okay. Oh. Jeff says, what transfers did you get with the kit? Do you know, I have them here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where. They might actually be in a box and not in this room. But you get the whole standard set. So I've got 301 numbers, and I've got a couple of the Iron Cross and things like that. Not the Iron Cross, but the Vulcan Cross, I think it was called. It seems to be fairly tame on water slide transfers, which is okay. I actually really like using water slide transfers. I've got some products which make them going on much nicer and can get some really nice painted on finishes. Sometimes I like to have like loads of stuff, on my vehicles, or sometimes I like to go quite limited. This one I think will be quite nice limited to show off the fine paint job that I've been doing on it. I'm going to get the cannon on the front over here. I'd like to have paint job. There's a bit patchy on that mantlet, but that's okay. If I get the tanks up there, I'm going to do a little bit just at the front here, I think. Or am I just rushing it if I want to do that? I don't know how I feel about getting in close to the track up here. Let's have a little look. Let's turn him on his side. Here we go. Oh, that's tricky. Okay, maybe something like this. Put my finger in a way there just to kind of help mask off, so I'm not getting any kind of overspray over the rest of the model. Nice big chunk of rubbish coming out the end of the needle there, just to say, hey, here's a blockage. Thanks. This paint just dries very, very quickly. That's what it is. You see it bubbling up again in there. The air isn't escaping quick enough from wherever it needs to come out of. Usually the front. Okay, pull that away. Let's just drop him back down again. If I put my thumb over the edge over here like that, it's a little bit amateur, I know. Again, going over some of those rendered bits over there on the weld where I've put the pin wash in right back at the beginning of the project, kind of getting rid of those colours now. Feels very counterproductive. But I didn't know where I was going to go with the camouflage, if I was going to do a camouflage on it at all back then. Okay, now I'm just going to bring the colour down the front over here. Or shall I carry on going up in front of the mallet? Yeah, I think I will. Just for now, just so I've got some other extra colour on the front here. And I'll come up against that colour there. I can follow that down for a little bit. Not too far. Again, don't want to be stealing the yellow. It's actually looking pretty good now. I'm quite happy with it. Ah, just not when my side skirt's off. That's a repair job for in a minute then. Okay, I'm glad that happened now. And not